Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel, my friends. Today we are watching Star Trek, the original series, Season 1, Episode 10. Double digits. Now, technically, 10 was the last episode because we include the cage, but this is the 10th in the actual airing order, and it is the CORBOMITE maneuver. I believe I'm saying that correctly. I did have one little thing spoiled for me in this one. I saw an image still, and I think this is the one with a young Clint Howard in it. So I'm looking very much forward to seeing this rather iconic image that I've run into since before any of this ever happened. But I can't wait to see this, my friends. So if you could do me a favor before we get started, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and ringy ding ding that bell for notifications. And you too will be alerted anytime we continue our treks here for science fiction or Star Trek related content. And of course, if you'd like that early, please join us over on Patreon. The link is in the description, my friends. But all that is then, and this is now, and we finally get into the double digits of the production order of Star Trek, the original series, Season 1, Episode 10, the CORBOMITE Maneuver. Friends, prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go. Oh, look at that beauty. Look at that beauty. Spinning the cells. Woo. Stop, you sassy minx.
1 degree to overlap.
Sulu.
Photograph.
Oh, cool shot.
Now.
Cool. It's you, the director, is on that one. That was interesting.
The ships must have made star maps of some of this.
Negative, Lieutenant. We're the first to reach this far.
Where no one has gone before.
Object changing direction too, sir. Keeps coming at us.
I'm getting no signal from it, sir.
Oh, Uhura in gold again.
All engines full stop. Visual contact.
It's a Rubik's Cube, sir, and it's solved. What do we got here? Space anomaly? Shit, we haven't seen one of these yet. Someone commented and said the incidental music score is really good, and it really is.
We're course around it, Mr. Sulu.
Take it nice and easy. That guy looks familiar, the dude at navigation. Oh, the Rubik's Cube says, I'm afraid I'm not done with you.
It's blocking the way.
Quite unnecessary to raise your voice, Mr. Bailey.
Bailey.
All decks. Condition alert. Captain Kirk to the bridge.
Whoo! Okay, we're in the intros, everybody. We can talk a little bit. I love shit like that where it's, you know, you're in the sauce pretty much from the beginning, but when you call Captain Kirk to the bridge, Captain to the bridge, ooh, that always gives me chills because it's you know, shit's just got real. I love this show. I enjoy this show so much. I think about this in Lower Decks so much, it's ridiculous because anytime I have a chance now to talk about it with my friends, as I say, I'm finally watching the original series, I can, you know, I can share all these revelations that I personally have made, like Spock's amazing. And I get people looking at me like I'm utterly insane, which of course I am because it's taken decades for me to do this. Oh, cool shot, cool shot. CORBOMITE maneuver.
On our third day of star mapping, an unexplained cubical object blocked our vessel's path. On the bridge, Mr. Spock immediately ordered general alert. My location, sickbay. Quarterly physical check.
Any chance Jim can to get his shirt off. You know, Bones has a ton of outfits.
Oh, you're killing me.
Well, technically, no.
Winded? He'd be the last one I'd tell.
Tell my doctor I'm winded. I'm Jim Kirk. Tiberius if you're nasty.
Kirk here, what's going on?
Have a look at this, Captain.
Well, who the fuck solved that Rubik's Cube? That's a tease if I've ever seen one, Spock.
Vessel of some kind?
Negative. More some type of device.
A device. Friends that watch this in original FX, is this a similar FX to what you saw originally?
A doctor or a moon shuttle conductor?
Hell yeah!
Jumped every time a light came on around here. I'd end up talking to myself.
That's a great Bones throwaway. Look at all these people. Oh, that's like one of my favorite shots. That's one of my favorite shots of the series. Oh, I love that shot.
Bridge.
Jim said, fuck it, I'm going up bare chested.
Any indication of danger from him?
Negative.
I'll change first then.
I thought he was headed to the bridge. That would have been the most baller Jim Kirk move ever, just to show up fucking shirtless.
I happen to have a human thing called an adrenaline gland.
Does sound most inconvenient, however. Have you considered having it removed?
Try to cross brains with Spock. He'll cut you to pieces every time.
that shows Sulu's genius level in intellect too.
Have the department heads meet me on the bridge.
Already standing by.
Spock. Jim, I've got that taken care of. I'm really loving the through ship shots in this. Really good. It speaks to the size of the Enterprise and the population density in that one hallway shot. Really loved it. Another one. What are with these POV shots? This is handheld. That's a proximity alert. Isn't that what the red thing is?
Distance from us, 1,593 meters, position constant.
I like Bailey. He's a bit of a smartass.
Beats me what makes it go.
I'll buy speculation.
I'd sell it if I had any. How something like that can sense us coming, block us, move when we move, it beats me. That's my report.
I have no clue. Next.
Sir, are we gonna just let it hold us here? We've got phaser weapons. I vote we blast it.
I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Bailey. When this becomes a democracy.
I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Bailey, if this were a democracy. Get the fuck out. Jim is bawling out in this episode.
Origin and purpose of the cube still unknown.
Look, a little step up here in the ready room or the conference room. I like that tri-screen, like Lazy Susan thing.
First, a space buoy of some kind.
Second.
Flypaper.
Ooh.
It's time for action, gentlemen.
Oh, I love this.
Phaser gun crew?
Calamad. I'll select what kind of action, Mr.
I'm
Bailey.
sorry, sir. I thought you meant by...
Explaining, Mr. Bailey? I haven't requested an explanation. We'll try pulling away from it.
Yes. Helmsman engine room, stand by. All decks alert. We're gonna try pulling away.
Man, there's really something missing when Sulu and Scotty and Uhura aren't there. I'm shocked by how much I miss their presence, which is weird, but...
Let's see if it'll give way. Ahead, half speed.
Oh, you're gonna try to front it. It's just matching, right? Like it's not getting any closer, but it's maintaining the same position regardless of the movements of the Enterprise. At least it's the way it appears.
Radiation from the short end of the spectrum increasing.
I'll stop. Hold position.
Oh, I love this. This is really, really cool.
It's still coming toward us. Range 190 meters.
Oh, so it is closing. It is closing. Yeah, you can see it's getting a little bit bigger. Ooh, it's picking up twirl.
Radiation nearing the tolerance level.
Still coming. Gaining on us.
Can you raise screens? Or shields? I think they still call them screens, though. There's that color we always like. NBC's licking their lips watching this episode.
Range 125 meters now.
Why is it affecting Bailey? Everybody else doesn't seem to be.
Give us warp speed.
Warp 1, sir.
Radiation at the tolerance level.
Warp 2, sir.
Wow, it's sticking with you.
Phaser crew, stand ready.
There we go. Let her up. Yeah, it's getting way close. Make the call, Jim. Fire.
Locked phasers on target.
Bailey.
Mr. Bailey, locked phasers.
Phasers locked.
Fire main phasers.
Whoo! Well, if that thing was emitting radiation, it's dumping it now. Oh, I'm loving this episode.
Captain's log, stardate 1514.0.
The music.
But my next decision, Major, probe on ahead or turn back.
Ooh, I kind of love this.
Logically, we'll discover the intelligence which sent out the cube.
Intelligence different from ours or superior?
Probably both.
I love that. Great acting choice right there.
The mission of the Enterprise is to seek out and contact alien life.
Has it occurred to you that there's a certain inefficiency in constantly questioning me on things you've already made up your mind about?
It gives me emotional security.
Oh, I love it. Oh, they're becoming friends. They're becoming friends. Oh, I've never seen this. I love it.
Lady in, sir.
Mr. Bailey, why don't you come over here and talk to me about shit in your pants?
I don't need textbooks to know that you could have promoted him too fast. Listen to that voice.
Rarefied air. He's not ready. We talked about this in Lower Decks.
Phaser crews, come on, let's get with it.
Hey, give Bailey a chance. I mean, anybody's going to act that way when presented with that situation. I default to Kirk. Take the advice, but
Kirk here.
Exercise rating, Captain. 94%.
it's not
Let's
bad.
try for 100, Mr. Spock.
Agreed.
Oh, this is a great episode. This little throwaway things. Oh,
Excuse me, sir. It's past time you had something to eat.
we've got everybody in this episode.
What the devil is this?
It's a salad, Jim.
It's dietary salad, sir. Dr. McCoy ordered your diet card changed. I thought you knew.
Your weight was up a couple of pounds, remember?
Shit.
Bring some for the doctor, too.
No, I never eat until the crew eats.
He's also not up a couple pounds.
I get my hands on the headquarters genius that assigned me a female yeoman.
What's the matter, Jim? Don't you trust yourself?
Here we go.
I've already got a female to worry about. Her name's the Enterprise.
Love of your life.
This is not a drill.
Kirk here.
We're picking up an object, sir. Much larger, coming toward us.
Oh, shit. They're moving around through the ship.
Any strong contact?
What is this shot?
Visual yet.
We get the roof of the stage? Oh, my God. Director, who are you?
There, sir.
We're looking at that planet. It's a sphere.
Tractor beam, Captain. Something's grabbed us. Hard.
Engines overloading, sir. All engines stop. All engines stop.
It's like it's honeycombed.
All weapons and operational ready.
Whoa. Let's try hailing them this time. Oh my God, I love that shot. Holy shit, that's a great shot. Oh, this episode is rocketing up my charts.
5,000 meters away and it still fills the screen. Reduce image. Let me see all of it.
I'm really digging Bailey. I'm sure he dies, but
Magnification 2.5, sir.
Sulu working nav and helm. Bailey, come on, get your shit together, buddy. Full crew, internal shots of the Enterprise, a space anomaly. This shit's wild.
Hailing frequencies open, sir.
This is the United Earthship Enterprise. We convey greetings and await your reply.
This is crazy. What are you picking up, Bailey?
What is it, Mr. Bailey?
A message coming over my navigation beam.
Pick it up.
Switching, sir.
It's crazy.
This is Baylock.
Baylock.
We are now considering the disposition of your ship and the life aboard.
Wow.
This is the captain of the Enterprise speaking. The warning nature of your space buoy was unknown to us. Our vessel was blocked, and when we attempted to disengage...
Ooh.
If there is the slightest hostile move, your vessel will be destroyed immediately.
Wow. Oh boy. This is a tough one, Jim.
Shutting off some of our systems, Captain.
They've taken control of the ship?
Extremely sophisticated in their methods.
Does the recorder marker have all this on its tapes?
Enough to warn other Earth ships.
Mr. Bailey, dispatch recorder marker.
Oh my God, that's like a black box. Is that what that is, everybody? Like, recorder marker, like, do not come in this sector?
Recorder marker dispatch, sir.
Marker on course, heading back the way we...
That has to be what it is.
Your recorder marker has been destroyed.
All right, well, fuck that then.
Your ship must be destroyed.
Ooh.
We make assumption you have a deity, or deities, or some such beliefs which comfort you. We therefore grant you 10 Earth time periods, known as minutes, to make preparations.
Make peace with your gods? That's what the translation of that shit is. This is nuts. Oh, friends, I am digging the shit out of this episode. So good. Oh my God.
Message was heard all over the ship.
Yeah, Jim likes to usually keep that stuff on bridge.
Captain to crew. Those of you who have served for long on this,
Get the shot.
you know the greatest danger facing us is ourselves, an irrational fear of the unknown. But there's no such thing as the unknown. Only things temporarily hidden, temporarily not understood.
I've heard that quote before. It's so good.
But we have no wish to trespass. To demonstrate our goodwill, our vessel will now return the way it came.
Okay, so there's that all picking up that hum.
Laying a course ahead, Mr. Bailey. What?
Bailey, come on, buddy.
Switch to impulse.
All engine systems show dead, and weapon systems.
Switching to screen. I believe I can get something visual.
Look at this guy. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this isn't the one with Clint Howard.
You are wasting time and effort. There is no escape. You have 8 Earth minutes left.
So that's our first like non-human this is our first alien that looks, a puppet or a special effect.
You see, Bailey.
What do they want from us? Let's find out what they want us to do.
They want us to lose our heads,
We've
Bailey,
only
now.
got 8 minutes left.
Remove him from the bridge.
End of what? It's the end of everything. What are you, robots? Wound up toy soldiers? Don't you know when you're dying? Watching regulations and orders. What do they mean?
Bailey, you're relieved.
Good scene, kid.
Let's go.
Good job, Bones. Ah, this episode's checking all my boxes, friends. You know what I like by now. This is really good.
When we attempted to move away from it, it emitted radiation harmful to our species.
You attacked first.
You now have 7 minutes left.
Oh, man. Can't outgun them. You don't have any power. Can't out-talk them. Oh, my God, that shot. I know that's all the remaster, but boy, oh boy, is that badass. Ideas, everybody. Come on. Ideas.
Jim.
Oh, it's a Jim moment, everybody. It is a Jim moment.
They must know we mean them no harm.
Certainly aware by now that we're totally incapable of it.
Yeah, couldn't hurt him even if you wanted to.
Chess. When one is outmatched, the game is over. Checkmate.
Yeah.
Is that your best recommendation?
I regret that I can find no other logical alternative.
Spock's out of ideas. That'd be the scariest thing for me if I was Jim. Spock's out of ideas. Holy shit.
Assuming we get out of this, Captain.
Nobody's given up yet.
Jim hasn't even been able to have a shower.
Let me enter it in my medical records as simple fatigue.
That's my decision, Doctor.
And
Yeah.
it's your mistake. You overworked him, pushed him, expected too much out of him. I'm ordering
God, for fuck's sake, Bones, we got 4 minutes to live.
For you, your theories, your quaint philosophies, I intend to challenge your actions in my medical records. I'll state that I warned you about Bailey's condition. Now, that's no bluff.
Anytime you can bluff me, Doctor.
Ooh, that's right. Dude, Leonard, shh. 3 minutes. You hear that? Reports don't mean shit in 180 seconds.
Let's hope we have time to argue about it.
Yeah, right? I love that. Jim got pissed and then he immediately was back to normal or back to neutral.
Not chess, Mr. Spock.
Poker.
Poker.
Fuck yes! Fuck yes!
This is the captain of the Enterprise.
Look at him change his positioning and demeanor.
Since the early years of space exploration, Earth vessels have had incorporated into them a substance known as CORBOMITE. It may interest you to know that since the initial use of CORBOMITE, more than 2 of our centuries ago, no attacking vessel has survived the attempt. Death has little meaning to us. If it has none to you,
Fire away.
then attack us now. We grow annoyed at your foolishness.
Oh! Oh my God, that was hints of I laugh at the superior intellect. Oh my God. Fucking Jim. What an episode. A galactic bluff.
However, it was well played.
It was well played. It was good. It was good, Jim. It was good.
Sorry.
Having other things on your mind? My fault. I don't know how in the devil you kept from punching me in the face.
Man, if we got 30 seconds left, Bailey, take your spot.
Anyone's interested.
30 seconds?
30 seconds.
Request permission to return to post, sir.
Give him a shot.
Permission granted.
Yeah, give him a shot to redeem himself here. Oh my God, I am loving this. I'm redundant, I keep saying it. Friends, this episode is really, really good.
11. 10 seconds. 9.
God, the tension, it's so good.
6. 5. 4. 3.
Having George Takei read this too.
1.
Nothing. They bought it. They fucking bought it. Oh my God. Jim Kirk, Space Cowboy. Ship to ship. You got to keep it going now. What do we do next?
Interesting game, this poker.
It does have advantages over chess.
Love to teach it to you.
I'd love to see Spock playing poker.
It counts. Is it raise or call?
The destruction of your vessel has been delayed. We will relent in your destruction.
Oh, will ya?
Proof of your CORBOMITE device.
Hold on that. Let him sweat for a change.
Fucking Jim, man.
Ship to ship.
Hailing frequency, sir.
Request denied.
I can't believe he's doing this shit.
And now, another demonstration of our superiority.
We don't need this. Didn't ask for demonstration.
I thought the power was off in the galley.
I used a hand phaser and sap. Hot coffee.
Oh, it's a hell of a good idea, Janice.
It's a small ship.
About 2,000 metric tons.
Do not be deceived by the size of this pilot vessel. It has an equal potential to destroy your vessel. Your systems are now open. Escape is impossible.
First Federation. Cool shot. Jim, just enjoying hand phasered coffee. Where's your wheelbarrow, Jim? You need one to carry your balls around in it. I mean, for fuck's sake, my friend, I'm finally understanding the legend that is James T. Kirk. If I was on that bridge crew, I'd look at him like, who is this guy? The stories that must circulate through Starfleet. Oh my God.
Balok's tractor beam has to be a heavy drain of power on a small ship. Question, will he grow careless?
Captain, he's pulling out a little ahead of us.
There it is.
You sneak power down a bit.
He's using his reserves.
I want a right-angled course. Sheer away from him, no matter which way you turn.
Yes, sir.
Bailey, we're going to need Cracker Jack timing from you too, bud. No more Sulu pulling 2-station duty. God, this episode's so good. It's so good. All on ship, space anomaly, first contact, all the biggies. This is great shit. Edge of space, edge of known space, farther than anybody's gone before.
Engines are overloading.
Keep them up.
More power.
Yep.
We're superheating. Intermix temperature 7,400 degrees.
Let him try to match it with that tractor beam. I'm not convinced these fuckers aren't bluffing too. This is a crazy game of poker. I lost it all. We're going to experience some slight turbulence and then explode. I don't like that shot. It's too cheesy. Not cheesy, but it's too choreographed. Everybody. Bridge crew doing a good job with it, though.
Sheer away, Mr. Bailey.
Now, as soon as they pull, that should create a absolutely hellacious strain on that tractor beam. Look at them glowing, though.
8-5. She'll blow soon.
Keep it going.
Impulse power 2.
Everything you got.
We're breaking free, sir.
Are they adrift? Let's see, that's a much better shot. Everybody taking like an organic move. What about the scout ship or the pilot ship?
It's a distress signal to the Fossarius.
Bollocks on the small one? Transport him over.
Sir, I doubt if the mothership could have heard it.
Plot a course for it, Mr. Bailey.
Forward, Captain.
Dead ahead.
This is what you're here for. Seek out new life and new civilizations. Just because it started badly doesn't mean it has to end that way.
Course plotted and laid in, sir.
Mr. Scott, ready the transporter room.
Aye, sir.
This is Jim's finest hour that I've seen so far.
Jim, don't you think?
What's the mission of this vessel, Doctor? To seek out and contact alien life, and an opportunity to demonstrate what our high-sounding words mean.
That's right. Money where our mouth is.
I'll take 2 men with me. Dr. McCoy to examine and treat the aliens if necessary. And you, Mr. Bailey.
Because you need it.
Sir? The face of the unknown. I think I owe you a look at it.
Captain, request permission to...
Denied. If I'm wrong, if it's a trap, I want you here.
Oh, it's so good. Not this time, Spock. Really should take security guys with you, but he's just gonna get him killed. He's trying to save his crew. He's not gonna take any red shirts. I never knew they had Type 1s. It's fake.
I'm Balak. Welcome aboard.
This is gonna be Clint Howard, isn't it? Hell yes! I like the little drink.
I'm Captain Kirk.
And McCoy and Bailey. Sit. Be comfortable.
Come on, let's see what Balak's got to say. Here, take some of this, whatever it is.
This is Tranya. I hope you relish it as much as I.
Tranya. Boy, I bet you they mentioned that in Lower Decks. They have to have mentioned Tranya at one of the bar scenes.
1,000 questions. But first, the Tranya.
And second, the eyebrows. I have to know. I make it from my own urine. Waste not, want not.
It was a pleasure testing you.
Testing us?
I see.
But I miss company, conversation. Even an alien would be welcome.
Well, thanks.
An exchange of information, cultures.
Yes, both our cultures would benefit.
Bailey.
Do you know where we can find a volunteer, Mr. Bailey?
Me, sir. I'd like to volunteer.
Ah, you represent Earth's best, then.
No, sir, I'm not. I'll make plenty of mistakes.
But you'd find out more about us that way. And I'd get a better officer in return.
Let me show you my vessel. It is not often I have this pleasure.
Oh, I love this episode.
They're very much alike, Captain. Both proud of our ships.
Joseph Sargent, you rocked. Amazing episode. Holy smokes, everybody. That was so good. Oh my God, that was so good. All right, friends, we just watched a absolute banger in Star Trek, the original series, season 1, episode 10, the CORBOMITE Maneuver. And there is only one thing left to do, friends, and that is to talk about it. All right, friends, we just got done watching Star Trek, the original series, season 1, episode 10, the CORBOMITE Maneuver. In a word, this one was my second favorite so far that I've seen. So it goes Where No Man Has Gone Before, and then the CORBOMITE Maneuver. I'm not sure where this would fall, and I don't ever look at these things before watching, to see what like the audience reaction or the critical reaction was to an episode. I don't know how this one plays with like everybody else, but for me, here are the things that I liked a lot about it. In fact, a lot of these are opinions that I shared with a lot of your comments that I've read in prior reactions, that, it's so much stronger an episode when you've got the entire crew involved, when it's an ensemble as opposed to like a Kirk exploratory mission. Now, I've really enjoyed some of those Kirk missions, like Dagger of the Mind was very good. I mean, I enjoyed What Are Little Girls Made Of, but those were very Kirk-centric, very Kirk exploratory missions, off-ship, on planet, that type of stuff. What I loved about this one was exactly what you all have referenced before. We had the full spectrum of all of everybody was on there that I can remember. I don't think we have anybody not there. We had Sulu, we had Scotty, we had Uhura, we had you know, obviously the big three. We had Janice was on there as well. I mean, in a smaller role, albeit, but she was there and present. We had Bailey as our kind of navigator of the week that popped up there. We know that Farrell's not going to be around anymore from the Q&A that we had a little bit ago. What I liked the most about this was just not only did we see our core cast of crew members, you know, the Sulus and the Scotties and the Ohoras, in addition to our big three, we got to see the population of the Enterprise in an organic setting. That shot where Kirk leaves getting his physical and he comes out and he walks down the hall, it's a very simple shot. You know, we've actually seen these types of shots, or I have anyway, in the more recent episodes. You know, a lot of action takes place in the hallways of Strange New Things, Strange New Worlds, you know, in Discovery and things like that. You know, you have kind of all over the ship, you have things going on where obviously for money purposes and the fact that they just can't build a set for every single room on the Enterprise, they have to keep a lot of the action localized in those places. That's why I thought that that kind of transition shot of him walking through, you know, coming, you know, his uniform and towel over his shoulders as he comes through, and there's all this movement of like just the life and like the arteries of the Enterprise in full swing, and then like you get an idea just by his transportation through the ship of how big the Enterprise is, you know, going to his quarters, you know, coming over here, going up to the conference room, having all of these things, you know, it really kind of fleshed out the Enterprise in a way that we've seen these rooms and things before, but in putting it all in concert and having the editing kind of show that passage of, you know, just distance, I thought we learned so much about the Enterprise, just its inner workings. We got a really, really great kind of ensemble. Hey, everybody, here's what's going on. From all of our crew members, some great lines, some great Sulu moments, Sulu reaching over and like taking control of navigation. You know, Sulu with the countdown is almost our narrator of doom, you know, that really, really great stuff. You know, everything played so well off of one another when they were, you know, we got to see like again that developing friendship between Spock and Kirk, where you know Spock's like, why do you already have your answer? Why do you question me about everything? You know, and Kirk kind of tongue in cheek, well, you know, he kind of be, you know, validated or whatnot. And I love that dynamic between the two of them because it speaks, you know, obviously Spock doesn't have any arrogance when it comes to, you know, his abilities and his prowess. He just has observation. And his observation is, you know, a lot of times, Jim, you ask me my opinion and then decide to go in another direction. And I don't think that that's Jim. You know, Jim wants to know everybody's opinion. He has an idea, and I've seen him change his mind to go with Spock a couple times. So it's not Jim's not, you know, just a stickler for as soon as he gets his mind set that he can't be swayed. He can be. I don't think he's as malleable as like Picard or somebody like that who might be more open to a different train of thought or a different approach. But this entire episode, everybody, to boil it down, this episode to me was Jim Kirk's finest hour that I've seen so far. This is what I expected Jim to be. I always, you know, again, just a quick refresh. In my youth, my only experience with Jim Kirk was in the movies, and I have not even seen the motion picture. You know, Star Trek 1. I've seen Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan. I can't tell you how many times. And then everything else I've seen like once or twice. I think I've seen Undiscovered Country twice. So again, that small cross section, in addition to like Generations, and I actually read some of the books that William Shatner wrote in the '90s when I worked at a bookstore, and you know, enjoyed those as well. Kind of like it's like a post Generations type of storylines that he had on there, the movie Generations. Really great stuff, you know, and I've always really loved Jim Kirk, but you know, again, my experience is only what I just mentioned. Seeing him in action in the Corbomite maneuver, this is what I expected Jim Kirk to be. I didn't know what his legend was. I mean, I knew that he was legendary. I didn't know how that legend was built. I didn't know, you know, the nuts and bolts and the stones that were placed to build this grand monument to Starfleet's greatest fucking captain. And the Corbomite maneuver is the keystone of that. I mean, unreal. I mean, no, we're not playing chess, Mr. Spock. And I knew what that fucker was going to say. And we're playing poker. And that is Jim Kirk's game. And I mean, the stakes, the balls, just the, my back is against the wall. I'm painted into the corner. What have I got left? Spock was like, I have nothing. I don't have anything. I don't know what to do. Logically, there's no other course of, all right, Spock's out. Everybody else shrugging their shoulders. It's up to Jim, as it should be, as the captain, to figure out a way. He was, Jim was, I can't think of anything else. I don't know what else to put in here. I don't know what else to do. What have I missed? And then going with that kind of Hail Mary last ditch attempt in the form of a bluff by making up that corbomite is some type of reflective death shield that they have like baked into the cake of the Enterprise. Unreal. I like the reaction shots in the background when he went in on that corbomite maneuver, like line of information delivery. There's a couple, not side eyes, but you could definitely see like it. I think that the one missed thing here would have been something that probably hasn't even been kind of like really developed yet. The Spock eyebrow. If he had started in on the corbomite maneuver and we'd have gotten a side shot of Spock with just the eyebrow going up, I think that would have been maybe one of the most money things that ever happened in this series. So good, my friends. Oh my God, this whole episode was so good and simple. Now I think, and again, these could be stock shots too that they're doing, like the hallway scene. That was my only thing that I didn't like, that very choreographed hallway scene where everybody was like, oh, fall to the left, fall to the right, everybody. Now, of course, if the ship's doing that, everyone would be falling to the left or right. I don't know if it was like too many people in the hallway. I don't know if it was too uniform and we didn't have somebody that kind of like fall to the ground and slide, or, however they can make that work, it just didn't look natural. Now, again, you could see where the money was spent for this episode because we didn't have any away shots, with the exception of the interior of Balak's craft, which I'm assuming was some mocked up like Jim's like sick bay or something like that. But what they didn't have like to go on a planet. They didn't have a guest star, so to speak. I'm not sure how much Clint Howard got, but everything else. So they kind of fleshed it out with extras. We had a lot of people on the bridge kind of coming in and out. Another thing I love, the crosstalk of like the different departments throughout the ship, kind of their cross chatter reaching the bridge and everybody kind of monitoring it to see what was coming through. That too, and the organic nature of people arriving on the bridge. It always fascinates me, like when there's action taking place in the foreground between like Spock and Kirk, for example, and in the background, you see that elevator open a couple times and people come in and come out. That is such an awesome thing to do. Just an added element of realism that makes me buy into it. Just, the background isn't static. There's the business of the Enterprise is being conducted. And in the background, you can see that going on as people arrive on the bridge with, something to do, a duty, and then they leave and all that stuff. It's really, really great. I mean, just so well done. Unnecessary, because I can easily see somebody saying, keep everybody in their seats. We don't need that many extras. We can save a little money. And, money, I think, is a huge issue on Star Trek, simply because, they always talk about it whenever I'm looking up stuff for Q&A. It's always, how can we decrease the budget? How can we decrease the budget? And, obviously they were under some pressure from the studio to kind of make sure these things certainly didn't go over budget. But if there's any chance to cut any, corners or save any money, please take that when afforded. But with this one, you could see the money was spent, and again, it could be stock footage, but the money was spent with the extras as they came on, everybody kind of populating the Enterprise. It was an excellent decision. It was so well done. It gave the Enterprise the feeling of a home, of an actual ship, an actual organic community. And I couldn't love it anymore. When they were doing simple stuff, like when Rand came in through from the hallway, and then you saw like background people walking through the hallway, just to make everything more alive, to make it more believable. It was so well done. It was just every little element of this, and the director, Sargent, I'm going to credit him because we haven't seen this type of stuff before. We had experimental shots, that upshot of Spock on the bridge where you got to see the actual ceiling of the bridge. Haven't seen that. The over the shoulder, like POV shots that were obviously being used by a handheld, no dollies, because we had some pretty substantial jarring from that. But, I think the buffeting was completely warranted because, we could tell what kind of shot they were using here, you know. I think we've gotten really used to modern audiences have gotten used to seeing these incredibly stable shots, you know, whether it be from, you know, somebody that's all decked out in a stability cam or even a drone nowadays. Things are just so stable. There's a less of a flame quality, you know. One of the old adages was always like, you know, back in the day on the stage in theater, the theater had an almost alive quality when the lights that lit the theater were fueled by gas or flame. You know, well, I mean, gas would be an open flame, you know, kind of captured within a bulb and focused out through like a reflective surface at the footlights. You know, and all of those things, but it still, even when flame light and you know, gas fed flame light, it would create a movement. You know, there's always a movement in the flame. And so, no matter how much they tried to refine and beam up those lights, there was still an organic quality to it. And, you know, the people that were able to experience gaslit stages and static electricity light stages say that there was a huge element lost whenever that transition was made. I believe that. I believe that and completely support it. And I think that's what you see in this element of filmmaking right here. When you have somebody walking behind over the shoulder, obviously following the pacing of somebody, and the cameras, you know, not as stable as it would be on any other position. To me, that takes me more into it. That brings me more into it with that little jarring of the camera. You know, there's almost a tension that's built up there, you know, as you're walking with them, you know, as these movements, you know, things don't seem stable. You're not as comfortable when you're watching that. You know, you get kind of, you move around a bit. I love it. Everybody, this episode was such a surprise. I mean, I'm going into all of these episodes like, I can't wait to see them. This one came out of nowhere as just being baller, and I couldn't have loved it anymore. My friends, if you stuck with me this long, do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ringy ding ding that bell for notifications. You'll be alerted when we go live here on YouTube for any of our Star Trek or science fiction related material. Want it early? Patreon link is in the description, my friends. We'd love to see you over there. But my friends, that's all for me. Now it's time for Q in a little Q&A. Greetings, mon capitaines, and welcome to another installment of Q&A. My friends, this is the section where whenever I watch an episode of the original series, I like to go back after reacting to it and find a couple little fun tidbits that either I didn't know or I would like to learn or share. So my friends, in an effort to also streamline this, I've broken it down into 6 specific tidbits. So, what we'll learn about each and every episode in the Q&A going forward is a little bit about the writers and directors, the guest stars, the core cast, production, syndication cuts, and quotes. All right, my friends, so let's find out a little bit more about the CORBOMITE maneuver that I certainly didn't know going into it, and a couple of these I learned afterwards. Our writer and director for this fantastic banger episode, writer Jerry Soule, and director Joseph Sargent. Fantastic work by both of these men. Incredible, incredible stuff. I think that they did honestly, really, if it wasn't for Gary Mitchell, I really might have put CORBOMITE Maneuver as my number 1. Gary Mitchell is literally the only reason why Where No Man Has Gone Before is my number 1. So take that for what you will. And now, friends, our next section is guest stars. Who did we have in the CORBOMITE maneuver? Well, we only really saw one guest star, 2, if you count the fake kind of Muppet that he used to intimidate people. But Clint Howard, a 6-year-old Clint Howard, played Baylock. And I think he did a pretty good job, especially when I read that the Tranya was made from grapefruit juice, which apparently young Mr. Howard did not like. And so the Tranya, as he had to take a drink of it, he really had to be coached into doing that and to make it look like he wasn't ready to vomit. So I thought that was great stuff. Now, I was warned about this over on YouTube, not warned, but kind of, hey, keep your eyes peeled or ears open, because Ted Cassidy, Ruck from What Are Little Girls Made Of, is in this episode as the initial voice of Baylock, the one that's giving them the doomsday countdown and threatening to destroy them. That is the voice of Ted Cassidy, our giant, hulking, Frankensteinian ruck android from What Are Little Girls Made Of? And I thought that was great to see him. And last but certainly not least, our most prominent guest star in this episode was Anthony Call, who played Dave Bailey. I thought he did a wonderful job. He had an exceptional scene where he gets removed from the bridge. I thought that was very powerful. Some very good choices there made when to like really kind of amp up the emotion. He did a great job in that moment. Now, here's the funny thing. Throughout the episode and the reaction, I kept saying, I know this guy. I know this guy. The thing is, I think I know him from this. The soap opera One Life to Live used to be on right before reruns of Quantum Leap. And when I was looking through this guy's IMDb, I was like, none of this stuff seems like I would know him from any of this stuff. And then ping, One Life to Live. Looked at the time period. Oh. All right, my friends, core cast, we had everybody. Yay! Everybody was present and accounted for, and we had really strong performances and scenes with everyone. And now for our production. What little special production things went into this particular episode? Well, I thought this was interesting. This was the first regular season episode that was produced after The Cage and after Where No Man Has Gone Before. This was the third, you could say the Star Trek ever, but this was the first that they considered to be a regular season episode and not a pilot. The Cage was a pilot, Where No Man Has Gone Before was a pilot, even though they weren't used that way afterwards. The other thing that I liked a whole bunch was, although the script instructed Spock, or Leonard Nimoy, to emote a fearful reaction whenever he saw the puppet that was Baylock, like, oh, my goodness, they wanted him to be very emotive when he saw it. Joseph Sargent, the director, read that and said that didn't seem right, didn't seem to fit. So instead, he and Nimoy kind of side conference or sidebarred, and Joseph Sargent, by Leonard Nimoy's own admittance, he credited him correctly for this. Joseph Sargent said, why don't you try just saying fascinating? And thus, one of the iconic Spock attributes was born, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic. Also, because this was the third produced episode, it was the first episode produced to bear the Where No Man Has Gone Before, Space, the Final Frontier monologue by William Shatner in the beginning. Another great thing. And finally, my friends, quotes. When I went into this, I said, you know what? I'm only going to do one quote an episode or it'll go too long. So the one quote that I will say is this from Captain Kirk. There is no such thing as the unknown, only things temporarily hidden, temporarily not understood. And I think that is a fantastic quote. I've heard it a bunch of places. And I just think that it kind of really sums up the exploratory nature of both the Enterprise and the adventurer spirit of her crew. But I broke my own rule right out of the gate, friends. I have to add another Jim Kirk in here because this was Jimmy's finest hour. And so the quote is an exchange between Bailey and Captain Kirk. And Bailey says, "We've got phaser weapons. I vote we blast them." And Captain Kirk responds, "I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Bailey, when this becomes a democracy." My friends, thus ends another episode of Q&A. Farewell, mon capitaines, until we meet again.